It's a mandate of health insurance. Are you comfortable with that, with requiring every Utahn to get health insurance?
I'm comfortable with a requirement. You can call it whatever you want, but at some point we're going to have to get serious about how we deal with this issue.
I'm now in favor of some sort of individual mandate.
So that's why the individual mandate's important. You should get health insurance just like you get car insurance. This should not be controversial.
The DREAM Act, for example, which I support, should have been passed long ago.
So I am a strong supporter of the DREAM Act. The reason I spoke about it during the State of the Union is because I think we should still be able to get Democrats and Republicans to work together.
Is healthcare a right?
I think healthcare is a right. And I think we're not doing enough in terms of providing that which our citizens need.
Quick discussion. Is healthcare in America a privilege, a right, or a responsibility? Privilege, right, and responsibility.
I think it should be a right for every American.
Do we need a rescue package? Do we need a federal government to backstop to the tune of $700 billion? I don't think there's any way around that.
So on balance, you support the bailout plan right now?
I do.
To Democrats and Republicans who've opposed this plan, I say, step up to the plate. Let's do what's right for the country at this time, because the time to act is now.
What other Republican ever would have embraced the Western Climate Initiative? Recognizing climate change for what it is, embracing a cap-and-trade proposal, embracing a renewable portfolio standard, embracing standards for carbon emissions for the region and for the state.
So there's no question that we have to regulate carbon pollution in some way. The only question is how we do it. I believe the best way to do it is through legislation that places a market-based cap on these kinds of emissions. And today, key members of my administration are testifying in Congress on a bill that seeks to enact exactly this kind of market-based approach.
While we're not reliant upon a federal bailout in order to balance our books, this would be considered a type of stimulus that we would benefit from in this state. It would allow us a little more fungibility with dollars that we don't have, quite frankly, and that would be a welcome relief in a year like this.
We have to pass an economic recovery and reinvestment plan.
Let's talk about some domestic issues. Republican primary voters are going to wonder about your decision as governor of Utah to take the stimulus funds, President Obama's stimulus funds. And when you were asked about it, you suggested that one of the problems with the stimulus is that it wasn't big enough.
So if you can't live with a nuclear Iran, and I can't, then you have to say that all options are on the table. And for me, all options are on the table. And it means that when Israel strikes up that conversation, as I believe they will, you better be prepared.
No options off the table means I'm considering all options. Iran understands that they have a choice.
What about Jon Huntsman, our ambassador in China? He wrote a letter to President Obama back in 2009. The Daily Caller obtained a copy of it, and in it he's quite positive about the president. He writes, "I'm most grateful for the graciousness and kindness you have shown me and my family, particularly your confidence in my ability to represent you in China. You are a remarkable leader, and it has been a great honor getting to know you."
A bill written in secret by Senator McCain and Senator Carl Levin that would give the U.S. military and not civilian law enforcement agencies the ability to arrest anyone and hold that person indefinitely, even if that person is an American arrested on American soil.
And U.S. President Barack Obama has signed the defense bill. The new law means any person can be detained without charge.
Would you have signed the National Defense Authorization Act signed by President Obama on this past New Year's Eve? The act has a troubling section which would allow the president to designate American citizens to be indefinitely detained by the U.S. military. I just want to know, would you have signed that, and if elected, would you work to repeal it?
Yep. Well, listen, to be very honest with you, I would have signed it.